Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. In today's video I'm going to show you how to make serious money in Star Citizen even if you only own a small starter ship. This video is mainly aimed at new players who want to build capital quickly. But it works very well for veterans too, because once you understand how it functions, it becomes a consistent and scalable way to make profit. The first thing you need is simply a ship that can shoot. It does not matter how small it is, as long as it has at least one weapon. That is enough for what we are about to do. Now, open your Mobiglass with F1 and go to Contracts. At the top, you will see two categories, Verified and Unverified. For now, stay Unverified and go into Salvage missions. If you have never done Salvage before, you will first need to complete the introductory mission, and then gradually move through the different price tiers until you unlock the 10,000 AUC missions. To unlock each new tier, you only need to complete one mission from the previous price bracket. Even though these missions are designed for salvage ships, you do not actually need one. You can complete them simply by destroying the target ship using your weapons. That is enough to complete the contract and unlock the next tier. Once you unlock the 10k missions, this is where the real strategy begins. Remember that 10,000 AUC is the cost to accept the mission, the fee to access the location of a ship, so you are paying that amount up front. Before accepting one of these missions, you must buy a tractor beam. I strongly recommend the MaxLift tractor beam. It is important to use the MaxLift because you will be moving heavy cargo containers, and the smaller tractor beams struggle with heavier containers. You can purchase it at any major space station that has a cargo section. When you use the elevator inside the station, select cargo and you will find it there. Now go back to the 10,000 AUC verified salvage missions and look for specific targets. Ideally, you want a mission that involves a Crusader Hercules, especially a C2, or a MISC Starfarer. These ships usually carry a significant amount of cargo with good resale value. Accept the mission and travel toward the yellow marker. If you cannot quantum directly to the marker, there's a high chance that the mission is broken. In that case, even if you try to fly there manually, the ship often will not spawn, and you will lose those 10,000 AUC. Thankfully, this happens rarely, but it is something you should be aware of. Once you arrive near the target, approach carefully and switch to SCM mode by holding B. Then press V to enter scan mode. When you are close enough, you will see the signal strength show strong. Hold the left mouse button to perform a full scan of the ship. After a few seconds, you will see detailed information about the vessel, including the cargo it is carrying. It is an important step, because it confirms that the cargo is worth your time before continuing. Exit scan mode by pressing V again and aim at the rear ramp, or wherever the cargo door is located on the ship you selected. In the case of a C2, one of the ramps is located at the back. Instead of opening it normally, start shooting at the ramp mechanism until it breaks and opens. Technically, you could open it by pressing the interaction button, but if you do that, you may run into a problem later. Breaking the ramp now prevents you from getting trapped inside the ship once we power it up manually. After opening the ramp, exit your ship and board the target vessel. Inside, you will see many cargo containers, which is exactly what we're here for. Now go to the cockpit and sit in the pilot seat. Try to power on the ship by pressing U. Nothing happens. The screen stays black, and clicking the buttons with your mouse does not work either. At this point, it may look like the ship cannot be used, but there is a workaround. Stand up from the pilot seat and move behind it to the engineering terminal. Turn it on and you will notice that all the ship components are powered off. From here, manually activate each component one by one. Once you power on the essential systems, especially the power plant and thrusters, the ship will come back to life. Return to the pilot seat and you will notice that the screens and cockpit buttons still do not function. Do not worry. From this point forward, you will control everything using keyboard commands. Choose a city where you want to sell the cargo. I recommend avoiding Lorville because after testing multiple servers, I was not able to sell anything there, most likely because the trading terminals are currently bugged. In my case, I had already unloaded everything, but since I couldn't sell it there, I had to load it again onto my personal C2 and then sell it in New Babbage. Very important, do not abandon the mission. If you abandon it, there is a high risk that the ship will despawn during the quantum travel. So keep the mission active while you travel. Switch between SCM mode and quantum mode by holding B. Set your destination and fly toward the chosen spaceport. When you're close to the hangars, press Alt-N to request landing clearance. You will receive a hangar assignment, and since the cockpit buttons do not work, you cannot deploy the landing gear, so you will need to land carefully without it. Try to position the rear of the ship facing the freight elevator to make unloading easier. If you had opened the ramp normally earlier, you will now be trapped inside the ship because the interior open buttons no longer function. That is why breaking the ramp at the beginning is so important. Take your MaxLift tractor beam and begin moving all the cargo containers onto the freight elevator. Once everything is transferred, send the elevator down and the cargo will appear in the city inventory. Now go to the selling location. If you are in New Babbage, take the Hyperloop toward the Commons. Once you arrive, go up the stairs, find the hologram, then turn your back to it and walk straight ahead. There you will find the trading terminals where you can sell all the materials. There are a few important final notes. In one of my tests, after recovering the ship and traveling toward the planet, I discovered that the engines were damaged. Unfortunately, I crashed because I could not maintain control in gravity. If you notice serious problems with the ship you recovered, I strongly recommend heading to a space station in zero gravity instead of landing on a planet. Also, check the website uxcorp.space to confirm that the station accepts the materials you recovered. Verified missions usually contain large quantities of nitrogen, iron and titanium, plus some additional SCU of other materials. I recommend landing in any major city in Stanton except Lorville, for the reason mentioned earlier, because those cities accept all three of these materials. You can also apply the same method to the 20,000 AUSC unverified missions. This often contains materials such as medical supplies, distilled spirits and steams, which can be sold at locations like Her L1. Some of these ships may also contain drugs, so if you want to sell everything in one place, including illegal goods, Grimex is usually the best option. There is one more important suggestion, especially for new players. Once you have made a reasonable amount of money using this method, even after just one successful run, I strongly recommend renting a more versatile ship to expand your options. Two very good choices are the Drake Corsair, which you can rent at Tisa Spaceport in Lorville, or the Constellation Taurus, available at the spaceport in New Babbage. Both ships are very well balanced. They have strong firepower, good maneuverability for their size, and a solid cargo capacity. This means they are not only useful for this specific strategy, but they also adapt very well to a wide variety of missions, including combat contracts, cargo hauling, and other profitable activities. Renting one of these ships can significantly increase your efficiency and open up many more possibilities once you have built your initial capital. For more experienced players, there is also an alternative way to complete these salvage missions that can be even more efficient depending on the situation. I have already covered that method in a separate video, and you can find it by clicking the card in the top right corner of the screen. If this guide helped you, let me know in the comments. And if you want more detailed and fully tested money-making methods like this one, consider subscribing. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the verse.